What is happening, people? And welcome back to Peaking It Real, episode number 4 today. Another exciting episode, lots of new topics to discuss. But first of all, how are you, Timothy?
I'm very well, thank you, bro. I'll be honest. It is actually episode 5, but
Yeah.
episode 4 corrupted. So we filmed episode 4 last week. It was a bloody good episode, with some horrible Tampa Pro predictions. So just so happened corrupted. And I went to upload it this morning, and it didn't upload. Well, I can't upload it. So this is now episode 4. We will catch back up, and we'll go over that episode again. But no, bro, I'm very, very well. I hit a big new low today. I was 228 on the dot. So yeah, I've dropped. I was like 233 at this point last week.
I
So
was going to say, yeah, you were in like the 230s, mid 230s last week, I remember.
yeah, and it's come off like crazy. No dietary changes whatsoever, or lipo changes, or expenditure changes. Nothing. It's just falling off. So I'm going to feed up tomorrow and Saturday, and then go again. Feeling well, feeling good. I want to just thank everyone for. I know we do every episode, but just everyone's support. Like, we've had some really, really wholesome messages. So yeah, thank you to everyone. And if you are listening, if you could share this on stories and whatnot, it really helps spread the word, and hopefully someone else listens to it and it helps them as well. But how are you, Jack?
I'm very well. Like, obviously, like I said, it's episode 5, aka 4, just because of the issue with the data, which it wouldn't be, it's typical. This week, everything's just seemed to have gone against us. But I'm good. I'm obviously going away in 2 days. Mini cut is pretty much mini cutting. Although this week I have not dropped. It's weird. We made a food adjustment last week. We dropped my food even more, and my weight has been the same all week. Legit, the same. But
Still, yeah.
it's the exact same weight every day for 7 days. But I look leaner, so I'm taking that. That's why sometimes getting hell bent on the scales is not the best idea. But plus, it's the first diet since being assisted, so that's something to bear in mind as well. So yeah, we'll go away in 2 days, which I can't wait for. It's Ellie's birthday today, so we're going to do a little bit of celebrating, aka I'm going to go and train. But she's with her family. But yeah, I'm really good. I'm really well. I can't wait to go away. It's been a crazy busy week in terms of posing and coaching as well, which I'm really grateful for. And just to touch upon what you said as well about how the messages we've received from the love and support on the podcast, and it's not just like people sharing and listening to it, which we appreciate, but it's the actual people going out their way to message us and saying it's actually had an impact on their perspective of prep, bodybuilding, and a lot of other things, which is it's kind of what we wanted, but I guess until you actually receive those messages, you don't really realize it. So yeah, super, super happy. And like Tim said, if you could share on your stories with friends, whatever it may be, it doesn't go unappreciated, but we're really excited to post this one. Obviously, this one, it's recorded straight up. So this is in the moment. People are going to, but we'll leave the Tampa Pro predictions. They were absolutely superb. They were fucking great. I would say let's do Texas, but I don't know anyone in it apart from Quinton.
Jordan. I haven't looked really in Texas.
Which I think it's going to flip flop. But we did get the classic, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I mean that was a landslide, wasn't
it? That was a pretty fucking easy one.
That was sensational.
But that again, shout out to Niall. You look fucking mental.
Yeah, Niall, if you are listening, bro, you look.
Yeah, absolutely. He's tuning in right now in Vegas. Not Vegas, in Texas.
He's in Texas, yeah.
But bro, that again for me, seeing that on stage, that for me is that should win the Olympia.
Yeah, I agree. I think a couple of years, and I really, really think even 1 year, bro. I really think that could be challenging. Top spot there. It's just
like we said, you gotta pay your dues. But I feel like he's won now. He's sponsored by the American companies. He's in there. I think it's a year or two, and he's there. Simple as that.
Me too.
But we have got a few topics of conversation this week to touch upon. What we start with? What would you want to start with? I know one of them is your forte per se. Not forte, but you're gonna have more bigger words to say on it than me.
I'm not an expert on it, but I have done a little bit of research on it in terms of retatrutide and its uses in bodybuilding, and again in the grand scheme of things, and in the general population as well. So I have got a couple of clients using it at the minute. And for anyone who doesn't know, retatrutide is the newest GLP-1 agonist, which started off with semaglutide, Ozempic, which was just a GLP-1 agonist. And then it was tirzepatide. Is that how you say it?
I think you're right.
That was GLP-1 and GIP. And then we've got retatrutide. I hope stage 4 they bring out one that's easier to say, like Dave.
What are you taking? Just like 2 milligrams of Bob?
Just on the Dave, on the Bob. And this includes binding affinity to the glucagon receptor as well. So it's currently in its final stages of human trials, I think. It's not FDA approved, but it will be soon. I think it's been around a couple of years. It will be very, very soon. So it does the same job as semaglutide in terms of binding to the GLP-1 receptor, which will like improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, slow down gastric transient rate. It also binds to receptors in the hypothalamus of the brain and the central nervous system. So it acts on like that reward system. So I think there's been uses of it within like gambling and addiction-based settings as well, because it acts on that kind of, don't quote me on if it is like a dopamine reward system, but it acts on the reward system. So it's the same in terms of cravings and satiety of craving foods. It acts on the same when it comes to like gambling and whatnot. So I think there's been actual literature and data on that. And can it help with other addictions? So it acts on your central nervous system, hypothalamus. So that's how it's combating cravings, through that reward system. It slows down GI motility rate, so it's going to slow down the gastric emptying of food, improve blood glucose and insulin levels. Then with tirzepatide, you've got the GIP as well. So that is like the secondary, they're called incretins in terms of the hormones that are released. That is like the secondary hormone that gets released in response to food. So postprandial hormones that get released. This is kind of like the secondary one. It's not quite as potent as the GLP-1, but together they have a synergistic effect and improve pretty much the same things again. And then you've got this new glucagon receptor that it binds to, which is doing a lot of the same shit, but it's also now having effects on like lipid mobilization and rest and energy expenditure, increasing lipolysis, so increasing the oxidation of fat cells, but it's decreasing lipogenesis, so it's decreasing the production of new fat cells as well. So it's basically got a synergy of 3 pathways where we're going to see a decrease in appetite and cravings. We're going to see improvements of fat oxidation, fat accumulation, and we're going to see an increase in insulin sensitivity and improvement in blood glucose levels. So on paper, it is absolutely sensational. And it is sensational because if you're going to slow down gastric transient rates, you're going to lower ghrelin levels, which is hunger hormone. You're going to increase leptin levels, the satiety hormone, because that food is passing through the gut slower. It's going to act on the reward system in the brain, so you're not craving as much. We're seeing an improvement in actual lipids and LDL management as well. I think in some trials, there's been like an 82% reduction in non-alcohol fatty liver disease due to its ability to bind on hepatocytes in the liver. Cardiovascular disease is coming down because of LDL management, weight loss, glucose management. It's pretty mental. And at the same time, it's increasing, we think, resting like energy expenditure. So on paper, it sounds fantastic. And I think for the demographic that it's made for, it is absolutely game changing in terms of the obese population, right? And diabetics and controlling blood glucose and whatnot. the flaws that come with it from the Gen Pop side of things is obviously there's going to be issues with slowing gastric emptying down in terms of, nausea, stomach cramps, pains, vomiting, diarrhea, whatnot. We're going to get issues with the gut. But I think the main thing is also the rapid weight loss that occurs with it. So if someone is fucking nutrient deficient as it is because they eat junk food, well, they're going to be chronically malnourished. They're going to lose body weight, not just fat loss, but they're going to lose bone density, everything. So I think we are going to run into malnourishment issues, and we don't have long-term data on it.
Mm.
What is your thoughts on it in bodybuilding, Jack? I think firstly, I think the straight away you go, and I know you agree here, you go, your ego says you're kind of taking away the thing that makes something hard, right? So no one goes in the gym and trains hard for you. No one does your cardio for you. So why should now, like, the other hard part, which is the hunger and battling that hunger, that's going to be taken away to maybe more people can bodybuild that shouldn't be able to bodybuild, right?
Yeah. That's where I'm at with it. Like you said, on paper, it's a golden gem, it's amazing on paper. So that's one thing. But like in a bodybuilding setting, it does, like, for me, I just think that the one thing that draws a lot of people, or draw me or a lot of people to bodybuilding, is like, it's the fact that a lot of people can't do it, and I know that's an egotistical thing to know you can do something that a lot of people can't, but I feel like the art of suffering, I know that that's a broad term, to suffer, but the art of suffering from bodybuilding seems to be like, it's almost like people are trying to take it away. And not just in the dieting aspect of things, right? It's like, now when I started, or when most people started, the thing that made you fall in love with it was like just doing everything, doing all the cardio, doing all the sets, training your balls off, suffering in terms of your diet, and that was like the reward. That's where you found the love. That the fact that you could not only, again, not do just things that other people can't, but just prove to yourself what you're actually capable of. And now I feel like as the years go on, that is kind of being like taken away. Now it's like going to the gym and doing like the least amount of possible in terms of training, doing the least amount of cardio, doing the least amount of like movement. And now now we can do it without needing to go hungry or not starve ourselves. We're not starving ourselves, but it's taking the art of suffering away. And I feel like that is one of the best parts about bodybuilding.
How much does it teach you within yourself and how to achieve discipline and the willpower, right? I completely agree. It separates a bodybuilder from someone who goes to the gym. There's a reason why it's an extreme niche sport, because only so many few can fucking do it at the end of the day. So I think that's a huge issue, right? Mm-hmm. Then logically, the flip side says, well, that's just a crazy bottleneck, and almost you're spiting yourself, aren't you? Yeah. What's this phrase saying?
Spiting your face. No, spiting your nose. I don't know.
To cut off your face or something. I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, you're basically, we utilize fat burners to speed up fat loss, but you still have to diet and suffer and do cardio. We take drugs to build more muscle, but you've still got to train just as hard. So all of these come with a little bit of a caveat, I would say. I mean, if you want to just take natural bodybuilding, then we don't have anything, but we still do things smarter. And is this a smarter way? So I've got a few people using it that have come to me wanting to use it because of it's the hype, right? And I can't say no, and I can't be like, shut the fuck up and suffer. Like that's like horrific, right? So I've got to be like, okay, right, well, let's try and do this the smartest way possible. So my stance has semi-changed over time, purely because I think I see it as a way that maybe you can earn the right to use it. So yes, it has probably huge benefit on a first timer, But I think it's papering over cracks to an extent. Whereas if you've got an experienced bodybuilder who's dieted multiple times, suffered like fuck, well, why not give him a little bit of an easier ride and take the edge off now? Because he's earned his stripes to do it, right? And I've said this with clients that Reta is not going to be there to stop you binging, in my opinion, because we're not going to use it in the dosages that will literally take everything away from you. So if you're binging on a good amount of food, right? Binging's never right, but if you're 1,500 calories deep, 20 weeks into prep, and you're absolutely screwed. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I can get my head around it a little bit more, right? If you're binging 10 weeks in on 2,500 calories, then Reta isn't going to be the one for you. That's papering over cracks. And what happens when the Reta wears off a little bit and you're on 1,500 and you're now as hungry as you were on 2,500, you're going to binge again. So I think it can't be used to paper over cracks. I think experienced bodybuilders or someone who's done it before and knows the feeling, has learnt the mindset and the discipline, we can use it to take the edge off things. I think definitely. I think post-show, it could be used in a fantastic manner in that window in terms of managing post-show and making it a lot more efficient. Yes, as we've discussed with post-show, you should have the same mindset as prep and nothing really changes, but it does change. And we see the most health risks there as well and mismanagement. So it could be used in a post-show setting. I think utilizing the least you can possibly use to just take the edge off that hunger, because hunger itself drives a lot of sympathetic drive and stress itself. So that can cause a lot of stress. So if you can just take the edge off, I think that's where it's very applicable.
Yeah.
A massive issue that we're all running into with bodybuilders is, well, it slows down gastric emptying speed and the mortality of the gut. So good luck when you have a high day or a refeed, because that shit, you ain't shitting for 6 days and that's staying in your gut. So there's another issue that yeah, it's great on low food. Its half-life's about 6 days. So are we going to be planning feeds in advance? What are we going to do in carb ups in peak week? Because up until the carb up, you're probably going to be on low food. So I think you're going to run into issues there that are going to be biting bodybuilders in the ass, maybe more than hunger issues in terms of how slow food's going to move through the gut with high days and refeeds.
That what you said about, like, you know, when they first started becoming popular, I was not super against them, but I had my stance on it, like you said.
Me too, yeah.
But you know, but like you said, you have to be devil's advocate and be like, well, we use fat burners, we use drugs, we use this. But like you said as well, you still have to go and do the work.
Yeah.
So in my brain, you know, I think, okay, with how fast things are advancing, are we going to get to a point where we can take things and not do anything and reap the reward?
In studies, I think it's just in rats. I don't know if we've seen it in humans yet, but it's binding to brown adipose tissue. And brown adipose tissue, when it is undergone through lipolysis, releases like releases loads of heat, right? So we've seen that the mice, the rodents are not moving, and their rest and energy expenditure is through the roof because of the heat that they're secreting, as far as I'm aware. Don't quote me on this. I might be a little bit wrong. So if that translates into humans in further models, because I don't know if Retatrutide has shown the brown fat in humans yet or whatnot. I don't know if we have the data. Resting heart rate is increased. We are seeing about a 10-point resting heart rate increase, I believe. But in future models, are we going to be able to just sit here, not even fucking work or move, and rest, and we're going to burn loads and loads of calories?
That's where I start to think, like, in that case, everyone will be taking these things. Everyone will want to take these things, and you can't blame them.
Everyone will be a bodybuilder.
You know, when we first started, again, when you think, if someone could give you, like, again, I always used to think to myself, if someone gave me a pill right now and I turned into the thing I'm aiming for, would I take it? It'd be like, no, because the joy is doing the work to get there, right? But then there's people who can't do what I do, who don't have it in them to do what I do. But if they had the choice, they would take that pill. And I'm not saying we're going to get there. That someone takes a pill one day, they wake up and they feel heat. But are we kind of like in that trajectory of getting there? And if that's the case, that's like that's pretty fucked up, because it gets to a point there where the whole art and love of bodybuilding could just die,
Yeah.
and it could just disappear. And again, and then this is like extreme cases, right? But again, man, I feel like it just takes away all the things that make you fall in love with what we do.
Yeah.
And I'm somewhat against it. I get it, but I'm somewhat against it. But just like you said, like papering over cracks, right? It's like if you have all these issues already and you're just taking it to try to mask problems, it's not going to do anything.
No.
It's also like the bodybuilder or the normal gym goer taking steroids and hoping to look like someone doing the work. So it's kind of in the same sense, the same thing. But then someone who like will use me as an example, right? I had everything in line, and then I started using assistants, right? It wasn't like I've started using assistants, now I got my shit together. It could be the same thing. Like I guess, like you said, an experienced bodybuilder who's been doing this, they're long in their career, and they go, do you know what?
Nick Walker, right?
Yeah,
He's earned his stripes. He's had grueling. I'm sure he's had the cruelest USA preps, right, that he could possibly have had. And he's now like, you know what? I'm just going to take the edge off it.
Yeah, and that's it.
Fairs.
And I feel like once you can prove to yourself that you can do this without all of that, then maybe there's a place for you to use it. But like you said, I feel like you are going to run into a lot of issues with people who, funny enough, when we think about topics, I was thinking about this yesterday. Like, look, some people are just not meant to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what, they're just not meant to do it, right? And that might be in terms of like they can't do it psychologically, physically. There's people taking grams of gear to look like an average Joe. Some people are just not built to be bodybuilders. But then are we going to see everyone and their mum become competitive bodybuilders because they have these things at their disposition? And that's where I start to think, oh, it could get a bit scary. And then, like you said, in a coach's perspective, it's like, are you going to start to see people take these things, maybe not even tell you, which is that's where like, oh, I'm going to use a little bit of this, don't tell Tim. And then you give them the refeed, they don't shit for 6 days, and they have the slow gastric empty, and then you have all these issues, and you're like, what's going on? You're like, by the way, I'm taking this. There's a fine line between it. But like in the Gen Pop, and I kind of get it, and I know there's a lot more like research and data on it, and I know people who are not using Retid itself but are using GLP-1s, and I know people who use it and abusing it, because like you said, you get a little bit of it and your weight comes down, and then you see extreme weight loss cases. But then again, I know some of the side effects are like you said, bone, like a decrease in bone density, muscle wastage. So people again, get addicted to seeing a weight come down, a number come down. They take a little bit more of it. They see they're getting slimmer, and then you run into the issues. But I got personal, again, people close to me using it, who I have started helping with their diet from day one, and said, if you're using this, we're not just using it and carrying on with the way you live. You have to change the way you live. And it's been fucking crazy to see the difference.
Yeah, so I presume you've got the diet, the nutrients, we're fueling the body properly still. We're not starving. We're still going to exercise. We're still going to resistance train and whatnot. We're still going to be active. We're going to do this to just not make you suffer.
So that's exactly where it's like, okay, you start with it. So now we're going to fix your diet. And we fix the diet up, and we're like, it's not just, okay, now you have to eat better. This is your diet. This is the consistency. We're going to have a step target. You're going to treat it all, you're going to weigh every day. You're going to weigh your food. We're going to have your bloods done. Because the good thing is when you get prescribed it, you do get blood tests done regularly. But also that is something they've actually stopped doing now through the NHS. So you are getting people now buying it, abusing it, and then going, I'm fricked, which anyway, and yeah, they are seeing like improvements in bloods as well. But it's not just a case of taking something and then all the weight coming off you. Like, it's now for like again in this personal case, it's that person now. I've said to them now we need to start weight training because at the beginning they were overweight, they didn't want to go to the gym, they were self-conscious. They've lost a bit of weight. They've lost about 10 kilos in about I think it's about 18 weeks. So it's not extreme, right? It's not
Just a
like
nice,
10
good
kilos.
going, yeah.
It's a slow rate of loss, and we've slowed down the rate of loss by increasing food as well, and having like not refeeds per se, but like days of a bit more food. And that dose now, whereas once it was I can tell you this, it was 2 milligrams. I think it was 2 milligrams
So 2 milligram per week is the recommended starting
per week.
dose.
Well, that went from 2 milligrams every 7 days to every 9 days to
Yeah.
every 11 days, and now that person is using it every 14. To the point now where, again, it's they've gone to the doctors to have because they have a review and they're like, oh, everything's improving. They're like, oh, by the way, I've reduced my dose by half.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit. Okay, that's great. And now that person feels like they don't need it anymore. The thing he was helping with, because now they have a structure, they have a routine, they have an understanding, and that's the other thing is understanding food. I've spent the last 4 months explaining food to this person to be like, look, this is how food works. This is not just healthy, unhealthy. This is not just like it's you have to have an understanding of nutrition to understand what your body's doing when you put these things in it. And now that person is like, I don't think I need it anymore. It helped them get on track,
Yeah.
and now they've got but now it's not an extreme like weight loss journey where it's an unhealthy. They're in a healthy position now, and I know for a fact if that was to be removed tomorrow, they would continue with their trajectory with no issue whatsoever. And that's the difference as someone who's taking it and then getting their shit together, as opposed to someone just taking it, seeing weight loss go. Because I know people, man, who are abusing up to like 10, 12 milligrams a week.
Yeah. And if it's going to get deployed by the NHS and whatnot, it is not. We need the education around it and around the food, exercise, and general health and well-being. It's not just like a scapegoat for that. Like I feel like just the health system in general from a young age, we're not taught enough about food and we're not taught enough about exercise, and it needs to be from grassroots level pretty much upwards, right? And now I feel like we've been preaching this and they're just thinking we can bypass this with these GLPs, where we're just going to run into opposite issues of kind of what we've already got.
Yeah.
So I think that's absolutely fucking amazing, Jack, and commendable as hell in terms of what you've managed to do with that.
What I will say is, look, I've been helping my sister, right? And my sister with her diet. My sister was overweight. She was like, I want to lose weight. And the number one thing I did, I literally spent like 3.5, 4 hours explaining food to her. We just sat down and explained food. And I said, look, just giving you a diet plan is not enough. You need to understand what everything is, what food means. Not just, that's 300 calories, that's 300 calories. And I spent like 3.5 hours, sat down with her, and she has gone on this weight loss journey without using anything. And she's about 23 kilos down right now in 4 months, right? Without using a single GLP or nothing. It's just cleaning her diet up, making her move more, making her aware of food and making better choices. And she went to the doctors because she has quite a few health issues, right? And she's gone to the doctors. She's lost some weight, and we've seen like things like she's got suffers with IBD. So her IBD's improved. All these her blood markers improved. She has things like cranial pressure. That's improved just by losing weight. So it's not the miracle drug that's doing it. Sometimes it's just doing the fucking work. And at the beginning they were like they mentioned Mounjaro to her, and they said, you can't use it because of the IBD. But then it's turned around that apparently now they're doing more studies on it, that it actually can help massively with IBD, right? So it's been like, it's done a 180. And I said to her, look, if they offer it to you and you want to do it, it's completely up to you. But now she's had 4 to 5 months of getting her shit together, understanding what she needs to do for weight loss. And if she was to introduce something like that, and I don't believe she needs it, right? Personally, I don't believe she needs it, but that's her choice, and I'll only educate her on what she needs to do. But if they're saying now that it can help with IBD, then maybe it's worth doing. But at the same time, it's like, because now they're not also giving the attention to the to the people it's prescribed to, then you can run into these issues again. So it's a very fine line in what people are doing, but you don't need it. Just like I don't think it's needed in bodybuilding. But like you said, in the case of someone like Nick Walker, but again, that's the problem. Nick Walker goes, I use it, and now everyone's like, oh,
now everyone wants to use it.
Again, man, fuck me. You're not Nick Walker.
And I know for a first timer, like I get, it can make it so much easier and whatnot, but I think you're missing out on.
Like, don't you need to go through that to understand if you can actually do it?
I mean, it's 2025. We've been bodybuilding for what, 80 years or whatever, fucking 70. Everyone's been a first timer and everyone's done it and everyone's found out, is this for me or not, right? And go through a first timer prep and introduce a little bit post show. Wow, fantastic. Take that horrible post show away and start working up from there. I think we need to still have that level of bodybuilding's a niche sport for a reason. If you can use it to take the edge off it, like I've seen great efficacy in just 1 mega week of Retatrutide and 1.5 milligram a week as well. It's half-life 6 days. I do get them to microdose 3 to 4 times a week as opposed to just one dose, just because of keeping things stable within the body and just that back end of the week. I do think as the peak drops, there is then a little bit more hunger. So if you can just microdose it, if you're doing 1.5 milligram, 3 lots of 0.5. If you're doing 2 milligram, 4 lots of 0.5 across the week. I mean, I've not had anyone more than 2. So again, I'm using it to take the edge off. I'm not using it to curb every single craving and hunger signal there is. Hunger signaling is a fantastic natural bodily process that we fucking need. Okay. And we need that. And if you are chronically obese, you've ignored a lot of that for a lot of time for the opposite way. And you need to be in tune with your body to an extent as well.
Yeah.
But I think we have covered the most things there. Like in a general population setting, it can have fantastic application as Jack's described, but Jack's gone alongside that with nutritional and exercise and just well-being education alongside it. And we see exactly the same results without it if the work rate is there, the mindset's there, the building blocks, the routine's there. In bodybuilding, I think we can use it to take the edge off. I think it's prophylactic measures of lipid control, blood glucose management, non-alcoholic fatty acid disease. Like these things are immense. We can also do them in other ways. It's not just an excuse. I'm going to improve my lipids, so I'm going to use some Retatrutide. We can improve them in lots of other ways as well. It's there. It's a tool. Will we use it? We'll see. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything covered. And it brings us quite nicely round to that suffering in a prep. Now, we want to make everything as easy as we can do, right? In terms of not as easy, as efficient as can possibly be. Get the most out of the least when it comes to expenditure, when it comes to even training, when it comes to more food, when it comes to drugs. But I feel like the art of suffering's potentially gone a little bit alongside this Retatrutide debate in terms of getting ready early, as we've said, is fantastic. But this seems to be a panic stations if we're not ready by 8 weeks out or 9 weeks out, that digging is not an option. And it's almost like, I'm going to lose my mind. I don't know what to do. What do you think to that in terms of, I feel like the art of digging potentially is gone.
That's it. I that's as simple as that. I think people are scared now. It's like, because you see people, be ready early, or some people maybe like, again, cardio hasn't gone above 25 minutes a day, 5 times a week.
Which is so optimal, by the way. We're not saying like do dig for no reason. We're saying if you perfect prep, fantastic. But even if you plan a perfect prep, it's not always turns out that way. And there might be a period of time where you've got to just drop the hammer.
Man, like I said, and I feel like this is something people are so hell-bent on. It's like, you can have the perfect off-season, you can have the perfect pre-prep diet, back into a little surplus, tidy up, whatever. But sometimes you still have to just dig. It doesn't matter how well you manage things, you have to dig. Food has to come low, cardio has to go high, expenditure overall has to go high, training has to be intense, all this stuff. And again, that is like you said, it's panic station. Oh, I'm not ready. I'm 8 weeks out and I'm not ready. Or I'm behind. It's like, yeah, but at what point have you said, oh, maybe I'm a bit behind. Let me put my foot down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it doesn't have to be like that for 8, 10, 12 weeks, but there might be a period of 3 to 4 where, yeah, you have to fucking suffer, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. Just because you have to go and dig harder than someone else, it doesn't make you a worse bodybuilder. It doesn't make you anything. It's so irrelevant as to the whole journey, right? If I can get to my end destination and it's been a pretty easy ride, it's the exact same thing as the guy next to me who's got there and has had to suffer like a bitch for fucking 24 weeks. All that matters is what you look like on that day, right? And it is exactly what you said. It's like the art of suffering is just gone. And people, if they think, oh, I've got to do 45 minutes of cardio a day, then they automatically think like things have been mismanaged.
Yeah.
Oh, my coach hasn't got me ready early. My coach had me, doing 45 minutes of cardio a day. He's mismanaged things. Like, no, man, like your coach sometimes is only reacting to what the fuck is happening in front of him. If you like, you've put a plan in place and on paper before it went a certain way, you can't guarantee that's going to go the same way again. It doesn't matter if you've taken 3 years off for an off season, you have more tissue. It doesn't mean you can diet on more food. It doesn't mean you can do less cardio. It's whatever happens in that moment of time, and you're just reacting to that.
Yeah.
And again, it's like you said, that the people don't want to push or they're afraid to push in case they must, oh, I might waste muscle. Oh, but now I've dropped a rep in the gym. I need a refeed. Look at my back. Look at these photos. Look, my back's. I've dropped it. No, I'm flat. It's like, yeah, you need that, man. You need that to heal. So don't be afraid to push. And I feel like some coaches are also afraid to push athletes now.
Well, I think it's almost been not demonized, but I think, you're getting to the point where you go, am I not a good coach because I'm having to dig this particular individual? And you see everyone, we all do speak about, we put up someone and say cardio's out 6 weeks, they're on high food. It's absolutely fantastic, but it's going against the grain not with everyone, right? And I just look at a coach and I think in terms of the results and what they produce on stage, sometimes some people will dig, and it's about getting the job done at the end of the day. And you can perfectly manage everything. At 8 weeks out, it doesn't matter what you're doing versus what someone else is doing, right? And if your coach is making you dig, they've not mismanaged. They're trying to get you in the best shape possible and getting you there. Now, obviously, again, there's extremes where people are just idiots and they kill people off for no reason whatsoever. But if you need to dig and your coach comes to you and says, look, we've got a 3, 4, 5 week period here where we're going to put the fucking foot down. We're not going to leave it to chance in the last few weeks. And we're going to have you fucking ready at 2 weeks because we've digged. And then we can freshen you up from there. Trust me, up until the last few years, from day one of prep, it was a dig, right? Yep. It was 12, 14, 16 weeks preps. And there was all digs from day one. And people still turned up in shape with a lot of fucking muscle tissue. And it's harder to lose muscle tissue than you think. And if you're doing short stints of digging, you will be fine. Like if you're spending time from 10 weeks out at a super fucking low body fat percentage, you've probably just got as much chance of losing a bit of tissue as if you were digging, because the body doesn't want to be there. You're so far from homeostasis that it doesn't want to be there. So, you can't just think that the best way is always to be peeled so far out. If you need to dig to get in shape. If you want to get in shape, don't be afraid, embrace it, embrace the suck. And hopefully by a couple of weeks out, you'll be out of that and you'll be ready to chill out into the show. But yeah, I just think that's the way things are going. It's the same. Like I've had the debate with, females before, and it's been like, coach cuts up, this girl's on 2,000 calories still at the end of prep. Yeah, but look at his other 50 athletes of girls. They're on 1,000, we've got to be realistic. So I think the art of digging's gone. I think just don't be afraid to dig. Do everything as optimal as you can do. Of course, it's what we always preach. Look at our athletes. The majority of them are ready at a bang on perfect time. But some of them are digging because that's what they've got to do. And some of them are smaller individuals or more first timers. and they haven't got the experience within the sport. I mean, if you're always looking at the highest level of individuals and looking up to them, well, they're probably going to have maybe a little bit more of a more managed prep. They've got previous scale weights that they've been down to. They've got better managed off seasons. They've got more muscle. So it's not always a case dependent on person to person. And it comes back to the off season. We'll quickly touch upon it. An efficient prep isn't always a badge of honor, or not digging isn't always a badge of honor, but also super high food and slamming yourself for food in the off season is not a badge of honor. And it's been a badge of honor for so fucking long in terms of how high can I get my food. I can't wait to be on 700, 800, 900 grams of carb a day. And it's not a thing to be like crazily proud of, that you have to just eat.
I mean, look, if you're a 320-pound bodybuilder and you need to eat 800 grams of carbs a day, that's one thing. If you're 220 and you're eating 1,000 a day because your weight's dropping, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
There has to be, and especially then if you go into a prep and look, if you're eating that much food and your weight's not moving, but then you take like a little bit of food out and your weight starts dropping, that's amazing. But then if you're needing to pull like half of that to then actually see scale weight move, then I just don't think, like I said, it's not a badge of honor. If you need it, like, man, what we said, right? It's the same as like it's food, drugs, training, anything. When you can get the most out of the least, you're always putting yourself in a better position overall to be I guess productive and efficient with the things you do. So I think the badge of honor should be like, this is all I need to eat. I guess
this is what I should just need to do.
This is what I need to eat. And then the badge of honor, like in the opposite side, is like, I only had to do 25 minutes of cardio. It's like, I think the badge of honor there is I only had to do 25, but I was willing to do 50 a day if I had to, and that's the other thing, is people are not willing to do it. So yeah, I'm not a fan of pushing the food as high as some people again do. And I feel like, again, it comes with a lot of issues in the grand scheme of things. Like, if you're needing to eat that much food a day, and that food is going through your stomach every single day, it's not in the long run, man. I know you have to have these off seasons where you push food, right? But again, I feel like some people just push it for the sake of it, just to say my client or I'm eating, or look what I have to do. I have to do it a burger and chips every other day because my weight's dropping, and all these things. And it's just not. We don't need the extreme, There's no benefit from being that extreme with your food. Again, especially if when you diet, then you have to cut it in half just to see a 0.2 of a drop on the scale.
Yeah.
And again, and I just feel like some people just they think, again, the badge of honor and the ego of but my clients, they're eating 1,000 grams of carbs a day. Come with me and you'll be able to eat 1,000 grams of carbs. It's like, bro, I do not want to eat 1,000 grams of carbs a day to grow. Like, if you say to me 400 or 1,000, I'm sticking with 400.
Yeah.
I'd rather, and again, what you said about the hunger signal, and this is the fucking art in being hungry.
Yeah,
it's good. If you can remain hungry in an off season and be hungry on a prep, to me that tells me something's working. I know that when my hunger goes, it's one or two things: my digestion shit, or I'm like chronically fatigued.
Yeah.
So I don't, like you said, that it's a normal body signaling to be like, oh yeah, I'm hungry. This is good. I've had clients check in. Oh, bro, I'm hungry today. Good. That's good. That's okay. Yeah, but can we eat more food? No, we don't. We don't need more food. Body weight is going up. You're hungry. When we put food up, you're still going to be hungry for it, and body weight is going to continue to go up. It's perfect. We don't need to just eat to get rid of that hunger, just like we don't need to push food just to see, like, oh yeah, 1,000 grams of carbs now. Post that on social media. It's not honor. It's not you doing you any benefits. And man, in the reality is, like, a lot of people will push, and they'll sacrifice the midsection for it. And you see every year, oh, I'm 12 pounds up, but the midsection has gone from this to that. You're 12 pounds up, but you don't look 12 pounds up.
No.
You look exactly the same, And that's the other thing. It's like that midsection and the beauty of bodybuilding, like having these pretty physiques. I think a lot of it is down to the food as well.
And how much is pushed, yeah.
how much, and I'm not, not the whole insulin and GH and all this shit, but just the food itself, just the amount of food that's going through the digestive tract every single day. Eventually, if you're just pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and having these high days and high days, so I have like 3, 4, 5 cookies and all this stuff. It's like, man, you just put unnecessary stress on that GI for no reason. And whether you like it or not, whether you want to accept it, that waste is going to grow with it.
Sure is.
So I'm not so much for like the extreme food. Some people need it, man. You have
If they need it, right?
Yeah.
If they need it, you need it. But if you're just having it for a crazy rate of gain and for the sake of it, well, you're going to run into issues very, very quickly, and your off season is going to be cut short, and you're going to have to pull all that fucking body fat off. So it's just.
So you've had clients, right? That you've gone, fuck, you need to eat 800 grams of carbs a day. It's like, shit, man, you have to do it.
Yeah, I know.
But you're not getting a client where you're going, how fast can I get you to 1,000 or 800 grams? You're not doing that. It's you're giving them what they need, and if they need that amount of food, then I'm sure you get to a point. There's a threshold, right? That you go, fuck, I know that's going to be hard.
Yeah, of course.
And same as in a prep where you go to someone, shit, like you're gonna have to do like 1,500 calories and 2 hours of cardio a week or a day, whatever the fuck. But you have to do it, and there's a threshold in your brain where you go, look, I know there's an uncomfortability aspect there, but sometimes it's necessary. But other times, just like you said, the coaches kill athletes for no reason. Some coaches will just fill athletes for no reason as well.
It's normally the same too. It's normally the same coach that does both because he's got them so fat, so unresponsive in the off season. He's then got to fucking kill them in the prep. It's normally the same fucking
changes. Cardio just goes through the roof. Go from no cardio to an hour a day. Calories at 2,000 compared to 6,000. It's mad. Just instead of being there and here and there, just be here and just do this a little bit. When you're off season, your surplus doesn't need to be 1,500 calories. It could be 250, 300. If you're growing, you're growing. Yeah. Just like in a deficit, it doesn't need to be a 2,000 calorie deficit. But if it needs to be, it will be. But if you can lose weight in a 300, 400 calorie deficit, then fuck it, that's great. Yeah, that's where you want to be, not here.
But I agree.
I
think that's that pretty much covered. Shall we do 5 minutes of quick fire?
Let's do 5 minutes.
We've got 6 minutes until we both need to head off. So I've got some quick fire for Jack this week.
I've got some from last week that obviously we didn't post, so I could ask you them again, but you know the questions now. That's the problem.
Right, we'll go through a couple of these first. I don't know how quick they'll be. Number one.
Yeah.
Anything that springs to mind straight out the gate of just favorite scenes in comedy films?
Oh. Step Brothers in the garden. You can call me Dragon. You can call me Nighthawk. Is it Nighthawk?
Yeah, it is Nighthawk.
When they're just both standing there like that's probably the first. That's one. Another one is there's such like super cliche films, but Superbad when the guy reverses and hits him.
So I've got a Superbad one written down.
Yeah,
I've got when Michael Cera's singing in the bedroom. And they're making him sing on the spot when they're all coked up whilst McLovin's in the back of the police car, and I think Jonah Hill's downstairs with the period on his leg. Happening simultaneously. Michael Cera singing kills me every single time.
He's so awkward in those films, man. Wait, there we go. I got them now. Oh, I'm trying to think of another one.
I've got another. I've written a couple down here. I'll give you.
Go on. You got. I'm trying to think.
I think number one is the other guys aim for the bushes. I don't think I've ever laughed like that. Bro. First 5 minutes, I thought, what the fuck's The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson doing in here? You think what I'm thinking? Aim for the bushes, and the music kicks in.
Bro, yeah, but in that film as well, the Will Ferrell scene when he's there's two. The Mark Wahlberg, where he's like, "Who's that?" He goes, "That's my wife." He goes, "No, seriously, who is that?" Bye, Shayla. And the other one is, what is it? What does he call himself? When he's like, something. He don't play no shit. Ever seen that when it's Will Ferrell at the table?
Yeah.
And he goes, I can't remember what he calls himself.
I can't remember.
And he's like,
I ain't seen it in
I ain't never been
ages.
about that. I ain't never been about that. He's like, oh, bro, that scene kills me. The other guys is probably one of the funniest films I've ever
It's
seen.
so good. I haven't watched it. I might watch it soon. I haven't watched it in ages.
I asked Lara if she's watched it, and she's like, nah. And I
Oh,
was like,
she's gonna cry at that
we
first
have
scene,
to
bro.
put it on. It's one of those that even, I've watched it 20 times, where I will piss myself every single time.
It
That's
sets the tone. That scene sets the tone for the film.
bro. Aim for the bushes. Yeah, that's good.
I've also got Afternoon Delight in Anchorman when they all start singing Afternoon Delight.
Bro, do you know what? I can't. I've watched Anchorman, but I was thinking about this the other day. I actually haven't watched, like, I don't think I've watched them in order. I can't remember the scenes that much. The only one I can remember that comes to mind is when they shout to him. Yeah, when they shout to him and he hides behind the settee. They shout to what's his name?
When he's blind, Ron Burgundy in the
No,
lighthouse.
no, no. Oh, fuck, bro. Oh, everything's going to my head now. When what's his name?
Ron
Um,
Burgundy.
no, the guy with glasses, bro. He's in the office.
Oh, Brick.
Yeah, and they shout at him, and he starts hiding. And then he's like, "Oh, you scared him." And then there is his shadow, the
It
shadow
says a
scene.
black guy follows me around everywhere, and they're like, "Brick, that's your shadow."
Yeah, that's what. But bro, the other one I was thinking, like, it's all Will Ferrell. Talladega Nights,
You
when he
love that.
stabs himself in the leg with a fork.
That is a great goated film as well. To be fair,
Oh, man. Bro, it's all Will Ferrell. What do you think about it? He's just a genius, man.
he's goated. Right,
So
dream five-a-side team, no keeper.
no keeper. Well, okay, dream or best? Like I would want to see them play together.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I mean they should win as well, surely.
Okay, right, all right. I'm gonna go. I'll start at the top. I'll go Messi, Ronaldinho. This might be a bit random. Zlatan.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you not remember the old Joga Bonito videos? Like the old. Oh, can you not remember? Oh man. Okay. Messi, Zlatan, Ronaldinho, Zidane. I will have one defender. I'll say Ramos.
Brings me on to my next question.
Go on.
Sell, bench, keep.
Go on.
Ramos,
Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk,
Yeah.
John Terry. I was going to put Maldini in. I thought you'll just keep Maldini. Anyone's paying Maldini. So Ramos, Van Dijk, John Terry. Sell, bench, play.
Right. I'm gonna keep Ramos.
Agreed.
I'm gonna. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna bench Van Dyke. I'm gonna sell Terry. I
would
think
keep
because
Ramos, bench Terry.
I will say one thing. I do think Van Dyke is slightly overrated.
Very
I
overrated.
do think he's fucking incredible, but I also do believe he is also stat padding a lot now in the no dribbles past him,
The jockeying, yeah.
and he's just standing there,
No
It's
dribbles,
like,
but they've been done at the near post 3 times in one
yeah,
game.
yeah, it's like yeah. But so I do think he's incredible, but I also do think he's slightly overrated, and I don't think he comes into like the best Prem defender. I do think, although Terry, I think
Terry is.
I do think Terry's better, but I would sell him just because I'm thinking like now, and I think Van Dijk would have a better chance against the players now than Terry. But then you think Terry played against what, R9, Ronaldinho,
Drogba,
Prem, Ronaldo,
Henry, Ronaldo.
Messi. So it's a tough one. But like at the same time, I'm not a big like I'm a United fan, so I don't like Chelsea, but I also don't like Liverpool. So, but I think for me, Ramos is probably the best defender of all time, not counting Maldini.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Agreed.
Overall, I would say Ramos.
Me
Because
too.
he can take free kicks and penalties as well, which fucking mental.
Final one, and then we'll end the podcast. Right now, 1 to 4, top 4, Prem top 4 prediction. Hit me. Winner, second, third, fourth.
Well, in order.
Yeah.
Top 4.
Starts this weekend. Let's go.
I'm gonna. Look,
Go first, and then I'll go first. You go second.
Right, I think Liverpool will win.
Liverpool, me too. Number 2.
I'm gonna say Arsenal.
Arsenal, me too. 3. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go. I want to say City, but I actually don't know. I don't think so. But I'm gonna say City.
City, me too. Number 4.
And then for 4, just because I'm gonna say United, although I don't think it's gonna happen.
Oh, Chelsea, I think, will be 4.
Yeah. I hope it's United, but I don't think it's going to be United, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. You've got to put United in. You're a United fan, but I can't see it.
But look, I will also say that apparently they meant to sign that Sheshko today or something.
I've seen, yeah.
I don't know, man. 85 mil for a player that scored like 13 goals.
You did that with Højlund. He had like 13, 12 or something.
Yeah, but don't worry. You forget he's young, you know?
Yeah.
He's been playing for 4 years now, by the way. But he's young. Don't worry. Like, man, fucking Haaland was young at Dortmund, and like, do you know what I mean? He's going to break the most goals in the Champions League record eventually.
In 2025, young is like 17, 18, bro. If you've not made it by 21, 22, 23 at a top club, you are not young anymore. You know, I swear Rashford's still getting nominated for PFA Young Player of the Year. Like, fuck me. Like, that fucker will be 33 and he's still getting nominated.
Fucking Lingard.
Fuck me, yeah. Right, bro, let's end it with song for the week.
Right. Song for the week. Mine is, I actually just, because I can remember the name, but it's called 3 Times by Dave and Jim Legacy. I don't know if you should. It's 3X, not 3 times. It's like 3X.
Like Chris Brown, yeah, 3X.
Yeah. Yeah. What's yours?
Mine's Everything is Romantic by Charlie XCX. Absolute banger. Right, guys, we're going to wrap this up because we are in a rush. We are heading out. So, guys, thank you once again for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, share, and all that jazz. And we'll see you in the next one.
Peace out.